that, Fredo? You don't like being called Fredo? Okay, Fredo. Can you freaking believe the Streisand Effect is going to be renamed the Fredo Effect? Because you got all those sounds. And today was He really thought he was going to win the day by dropping F-bombs. And he was so concerned that the guy called him Fredo in front of his family. Calling him Fredo in front of his family, that's a bad thing. But dropping F-bombs and saying you're going to mess up his shit and throw his ass down the stairs in front of his family, that was perfectly fine, right? Perfectly fine. Chris Cuomo just proved that the roids probably shrunk more than his junk. Allegedly. I think Chris's brain shrunk 3 sizes that day. He was like the anti-Grinch. It was just... I couldn't believe I was watching what I was watching. It was just so beautiful. And of course, immediately the memes pop up. And this drives the left nuts. This is why they need to censor us on social media. Because they can't meme for shit. They don't know how to do it. They don't have the wit. They don't have the knowledge base. All they can come up with is, oh yeah? Orange man bad. Racist. It's Russia. They have no clue. They have no wit. They have no insight. They have nothing to add. And yet they're out there threatening the Supreme Court. Now, Chuck Schumer warned Trump not to go after the intelligence community because they, quote, have 8 ways from Sunday to get you, end quote. Like that wasn't a threat. But they go after the Supreme Court. Well, if the Supreme Court doesn't heal itself, and they meant H-E-A-L, but what they really meant was H-E-E-L. See, Democrats don't like it when the court upholds the Constitution. Why? Because they're all positivists. They believe in positivism. If you don't know what positivism is, look it up on DuckDuckGo, look it up on Wikipedia. Positivism, positive law. Okay, look up substantive due process. That'll give you everything you need to know about how the Democrats view the Constitution. Okay, the purpose of the Constitution is to limit federal power, and it is the reason, it is the exact reason, it is the sole reason that the Democrats hate it. Okay, they succeeded in amending the Constitution in 100 years ago and got 17A passed, which I argue is the worst amendment of all of them because it eliminated the states from having a voice in the federal government. It was exactly what the founders did not want. The reason the House of Representatives was called the People's House is because the people elected the representatives directly. The people also elected the senators, but indirectly through their state legislatures. But the progressives 100 years ago got people to buy the lie that they were being excluded from choosing their senators when they weren't. If they didn't like their senators, all they had to do was change their state legislature. But the whole point of the Senate with 6-year terms and being appointed by the states was to give the states a voice in our federal government, and the Senate was supposed to be more sober, more deliberative, riding out the tides of, quote, the popular passions, whereas the House was supposed to be responsive to those popular passions. 100% turnover every 2 years. Senate has a 33% turnover every 2 years. The representatives are elected directly by the people. So if the people are upset about something, they can completely change Congress, 100% turnover. Theoretically, you could have a brand new Congress. Practically that never happens, but theoretically you could, right? But now, when we have direct election of the senators, what's the point of calling the House of Representatives the People's House? They're both the People's House now, and the states have gotten screwed. 17A is the worst. The second worst, of course, is 16A, because 16A fuels the Leviathan bureaucracy. Okay, but I did want to come on and make fun of Chris Cuomo because, you know, Diane said that in the Cuomo family, there is no Fredo because there's no Michael. They're all Fredo, right? Yeah, okay, you can say that to a point. You could even say that Chris is Michael and Andrew is Fredo, because Fredo's the older brother and Andrew's the older brother there. But Andrew is definitely the one that got the brains in the family. He's the criminal mastermind, and he is a criminal. Okay, New York State government, I've said this before, New York State government was always called 3 men in a room. And Dean Skelos, indicted, convicted, sent to prison, appealed, sent back to prison. Sheldon Silver, indicted, convicted, sent to prison, appealed, sent back to prison. Andrew Cuomo was the third guy in the room, and he wasn't indicted? How does that happen? You got a corrupt guy, and you got a third guy. The first 2 guys go to prison for what they did in that room, and the third guy skates. How does that happen? Criminal mastermind. It's all wired. They've got photos now of the American Association of Government Workers with Hillary. Guess what union guess what workers the American Association of Government Workers Union covers? That's right, the prison guards for the Bureau of Prison. And they were with her. So yet another Clinton connection. I really think that Bob Barr is going to get to the bottom of this. I've said it all along. He didn't leave a cushy life and a great income to come back unless he was a man on a mission. I believe he's a man on a mission. I think that he is going to clear this all up. Let's look at our badass president. Don Jr. today tweeted, "Unbelievable. YouTube has taken down the viral video showing Chris Cuomo threatening to assault a heckler and then grotesquely comparing Fredo to the N-word. YouTube, Google literally covering up his racism and violent threats. You can't make this stuff up. Hashtag stop the bias." And the president tweeted, "Put it back up. We're living with a rigged and fake media." I love it. And the left goes crazy, saying, screaming censorship and racism and all the other BS that they spew. This tweet right here tells you what the real problem in America is. And Charlie gets it wrong. It's not voter fraud. It's illegal voting, Charlie. Fraud is an intent crime. Illegal voting, you don't have to prove any deceptive intent. All you have to prove is that someone voted when they were not entitled to vote. The crime is the act. It is not voter fraud. It is illegal voting. Los Angeles County, they're so patriotic in California. Los Angeles County had a registration rate of 112% of its adult population. 12% more adults than live in Los Angeles County are registered to vote in Los Angeles County. The entire state of California has a registration rate of 101%. 11 of 58 counties in California have registration rates above 100%. Aren't they patriotic? They're such great voters. Is this why California is solid blue? Well, that and the fact that they crammed a law down everyone's throat saying that the top 2 vote getters in a primary, we're going to mix up the primaries and the top 2 vote getters run off in November, and it's always a Democrat against a Democrat. There's no republic. California calls itself a republic on its own flag, the Republic of California, it says, because it used to be a republic, just like Texas used to be a republic. Well, California is not a republic anymore. It does not have a Republican form of government. It is nothing more than a massive crime scene. From San Diego to San Francisco is one long, contiguous crime scene. It's an absolute horror show out there in California. I mean, we've got bubonic plague, we've got typhus, we've got everything. I wanted to show you this. There are more patriotic people in Hong Kong than in the entire Democrat Party. Look at these freedom protesters in Hong Kong waving American flags and singing the American national anthem. No one there is taking a knee. They are proudly holding aloft Old Glory as a symbol of liberty. Not a symbol of racism, not a symbol of oppression, not a symbol of all the evil, bad things that the Democrats try to say it's a symbol of. Hong Kong protesters have more respect for America, the American flag, and the American national anthem than the entire Democrat Party put together. Democrats, they hate you, they hate me, they hate America. God bless those people in Hong Kong. I don't know how it's going to end up, but I hope that they do have more liberty in their future. I wanted to show you a couple of my tweets. We had a little fun today. I know it's not good manners, but I did have to double dip a bit and go after Cuomo twice. Let's see, how can I get to my tweets? I want to get to my tweets, not my feed. See, I'm usually on my phone, not on the computer, so I don't really know how to use this on the computer. These are all the tweets in my feed, but how do we get to Timbo's tweets? Maybe we do this. Here we go. Actually, it's real Patriot TV now. I guess I can't figure it out. Somebody's going to have to show me how to use Twitter on my computer because, here we go. That worked. There's got to be an easier way, but that worked. Slavery, Jim Crow, the KKK, lynchings, denying women the vote, and election fraud. The Democrats. That's the history of the Democrat Party. Great article in National Review, whitewashing the Democrat Party's history. We need to not let that die. Yesterday, Kamala went to a nursing home and she didn't realize that she was going to school. This was my first meme. If you like your health care, you can keep your health care. She literally said that. We're going to keep your health care just the way you like it. I promise you I won't change it. I promise. And I got the little old lady saying, you're not fooling anyone, Satan. And then in the next one, Kamala gets a little bit snippy. Just remember, your health care plan now includes euthanasia, so no more lip. Got it? That's what she was really thinking. And of course, this is what our little old lady was really thinking. But Kamala went to she was going to school. And this one, we got Forever Fredo. Here we go. That was the second one. Where was my first one today? I did do a little bit of double dipping. Fredo, 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 Twinkle. Chris Cuomo. Hashtag Fredo Cuomo. And then this one I loved. I didn't make any of these memes, but it was great. I'm not dumb. I'm smart. I can do things. I'm not dumb like they say I am. This one I did make. I know it was you, Fredo. But I think my favorite came from Patty Girl in our special of the day, Spaghetti Alfredo. What did you call me, bitch? He'll wreck your shit. He'll throw him right down those stairs. And what else was good today? This, how about closing the barn door after it's gone? Okay, they're doing a big investigation. The warden resigned. We've got 2 guards on administrative leave. I said closing the barn door after the horse is long gone. Brilliant. Half the country knew he wasn't going to survive until trial. How come the Justice Department and the Bureau of Prisons were out of the loop and didn't protect him? Okay, we need to get to the bottom of this. The warden of the jail where Epstein died is to be reassigned. 2 staff members. Oh, he's reassigned. He didn't even resign. He's reassigned. I got that wrong. I read that as resigned. My mistake. And 2 staff members have been put on administrative leave. Dana Loesch hit the ball out of the park today with one tweet. POTUS explains how red flag laws can and will be abused because the president said, would Chris Cuomo be given a red flag for his recent rant? Filthy language and a total loss of control. He shouldn't be allowed to have any weapon. He's nuts. Well, guess what? This right here is exhibit number 1. Why we should never have red flag laws. Absent some very restrictive due process. It needs to be next to impossible to take away someone's weapons. They have to be adjudicated mentally ill. Now, I think the Dayton shooter would fall into that category. But we cannot have people, just like swatting, right? We can't have people calling up and making a complaint and having cops come in and seize everyone's guns. That is never going to be acceptable. And that, quite frankly, is going to get a lot of cops killed. We can't have red flagging just like we have swatting. It's got to be a very restrictive court process. Psychologists need to be involved. Judges need to be involved. It's got to be, it's got to be as intensive a process as getting someone committed. Okay, getting someone involuntarily committed to a mental facility. It's got to be just as stringent and the I's dotted and the T's crossed just as much as you do to involuntarily commit someone. And then here, I'll end with this, the last double dip of the day. Not only is hashtag Forever Fredo Chris Cuomo the ultimate asshat, apparently he racist. See, this idiot said that Fredo is akin to the N-word for Italians. And all my Italian friends are, forget about it. And I said I think the roid shrunk more than his junk. Allegedly. So use these hashtags, Fredo Cuomo, Fascist Fredo, My Name is Fredo, and Forever Fredo. We need a song. Maybe we can use Neil Diamond's song, Forever in Blue Jeans. We can make it Forever Fredo. Stiletto D, what do you think, hon? Can we get a song? Maybe instead of Forever Young, do Rod Stewart's. Instead of Forever Young, we could do Forever Fredo, or Neil Diamond's Forever in Blue Jeans. We'll do that, Forever in Fredo. We'll do something. All right. Thanks for playing along. Thanks for tuning into these shows. Please retweet them. Please share them. I greatly appreciate all your support. Until next time, God bless you. God bless these United States. Keep fighting the good fight.